So how'd you even get diagnosed to begin with the kidney issue?
One day I was in my house and like my ankle swelled up or something. Yeah, like my ankle swelled up, and me and my mom were trying to figure out why. We couldn't figure out why. So I went to the doctor and I peed, and they said it was foamy. They said it has protein in it. There's something wrong with your kidneys. So they sent us to like a kidney specialist, and they did a biopsy, which is where they take a little bit of the tissue from your kidney, and they looked at it and everything, and they seen I had kidney disease. Some kidney disease that has a really long name that I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And from the time that they diagnosed me, in about a year, my kidneys completely failed, and I needed my mom's, which is really fast. Like that's a long time. And for me to be so young, like it's still like a mystery as to why I really got sick. And I've been trying to figure that out ever since. Like, what's really the reason?
So it was just more of what seemed to be one issue led to a whole nother thing, like just unraveled.
Kidney disease led to kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like 15, I really thought I was gonna die. Like, if I look back at my 15-year-old self, I would not think I'd be 27 and alive. Honestly.
Were they giving you like a lot of potential problems you might have in the future, or any kind of glimpse of hope?
Glimpse of hope, yeah. Because once I get this kidney,
Just don't talk. Just don't talk. Yeah.
Who this?
Those demons inside you. Let them go. Before it's too late.
I'm dying.
No way! I can't believe this!
Oh no, man, come on. Oh no. Don't die on me. God damn it. Don't die. Fuzzy.
Somebody did this.
All right, so we're back with something spectacular. I'm Who This. Hello, by the way. In case you forgot by now, it's only about like 25 episodes deep so far. I'm getting to that goal, that number, that milestone. And funny enough, appropriately enough, to hit that number, it's nice to have someone who might not necessarily be a know-it-all, but that's what he dubbed himself. So I take it that he knows what he's talking about. He's well-versed in what he raps about, he talks about, he puts out there for the public to take with it what they may, because it's his art. It's what he's known to do, and so appropriately here we got with us today for this installment of Something Spectacular, again, hosted by Who This, emphasis on the spic, despite of how Queens I sound, New York I sound. I still identify with that, because both my parents were, and still are, they're not dead, Spics. They made me happen. Here I am. Supposed to be 9 months in the making, but I came out at 7 because I couldn't wait that long. Because I knew someday I'd be able to sit down here in person with KnowitAll.
Yeah, yo, it was good. Queen, stand up. This your nigga know it all.
You keep saying that and say it as many times as you have to, because there's no shame in being from Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Queens runs all U's, considering who's in the White House right now.
Yo, that's facts.
Even though, he claims Jamaica states, and that's not really necessarily like blue collar, whatever, I guess you dub it, but still, it's still Queens.
Right.
Jay-Z ain't president yet. There's no one in the White House from Brooklyn. I mean, unless Bernie takes it somehow, some way. I don't know. It seems like a reach in Bernie's case. I don't know how you feel about that know-it-all.
If he's going to win?
Yeah, or even get the nominee for...
The nominee, I can see that happening. I honestly don't see him winning. Because he's promising a bunch of things that I don't think he can actually bring forth. I don't think Congress is going to allow him to bring forth. Like, everybody's going to have college free and all of this stuff. Like, come on, that's fantasy stuff in the America we live in today.
It's a lot to ask for and a lot to beg for. And also, yeah, it's like wishful thinking. That seems to be his MO, if anything. I mean, but then I forgot where I heard it from, what show, podcast, whatever, but he does seem to be the most sincere of the candidates.
Absolutely.
As far as what he stands by, what he wants ultimately. But you're right. Who knows if he'd be able to actually pull any of that off.
Right. Absolutely. Bernie Sanders, he seems like a really great guy, like a really good guy, and I do trust what he says, but it's like they're not gonna vote for somebody who's not really a politician. Like they want people seem to keep voting for the same type of people. Like, and he's not that type of person in my eyes. Like,
Yeah, there is that too. I mean, well, he does have at least a political background per se, being a senator and all compared to Trump.
yeah,
I mean, there is that, but I like to look at it more like in an optimistic sense. Trump trumped his way into the White House, kind of spoke into existence because he wanted it that bad. So that's kind of like a life MO to follow,
Right.
per se.
yeah, for real though.
You can kind of get whatever you want so long as you really want it that bad and trump your way through it. But that's neither here nor there. This is no political realm. You know, politics is like, I'm not that smart to even talk to or touch politics. I'm more into conspiracy theories like we were discussing earlier.
Right.
You know, what's with this coronavirus going on here?
Coronavirus, man.
I mean, we could touch on it because it does relate back to health overall. And what really sold me on having you come through and share your story, your come up, you know, everything you're doing right now is related back to your health as well, too.
All right. This is what I want to say about the coronavirus. Like, everybody that thinks it's a hoax or whatever, it may or may not be. But just as fast as the people who you think put it out there or lied about it, they can actually put it out there just that fast. They can actually administer this shit to the public just as fast as they can lie about it.
Oh, yeah.
So just stay prepared, wash your hands. Even if you think it's real or not, just be prepared as possible. I'm a conspiracy theorist too.
I don't buy into all of them.
Right.
But at some point you grow up to, like, question reasonably so
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that goes on.
As you
And
should.
Exactly, as you should. You should always stay curious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't spend your whole day thinking over things like that too. But still, it's your right to still doubt whatever's out there,
Absolutely.
justifiably so. I don't know if you ever saw that show with, former Governor Jesse Ventura. I forget the name of the show.
I love that guy though. I love him.
He brings up so many points too, and you know he believes in what he's trying to put out there too.
Oh my God, he should run for president. I'd vote for him in a
He'd
second.
be the realest president ever.
Love that guy. Shout out to
Yes,
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, absolutely. Somewhere randomly in Mexico off the radar, as he does.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You know, he's got his own satellite and trailer hitched up to, like, off-the-grid computers or something like that, too. I don't blame him in that case. But, yeah, I mean, coronavirus, if anything, too, the scary part it exposed was that there's enough people that bought into the fact that coronavirus might be linked to Corona beer. Their stock went down legitimately.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that was actually in the news. Like, they lost millions based off of that fact. They took a poll basically that asked, like, oh, they're not directly associated, but would you still purchase Corona even though it's not linked to coronavirus? And like, oh, just to be safe, I'm not going to, fuck with the beer.
That's insane.
But, that's, at least that exposed that much. But we kind of knew that. You know, that part of the population that does that.
All right.
Let's put the cap on, let's put the lid on coronavirus just by saying this, it doesn't help if you don't already wash your ass thoroughly.
Right.
Because that's where it all stems from. You literally made your own waste. It might as well help to, like, at least hum a song or two while you wash your hands thoroughly. I'm big on hygiene. I don't know if it matters to you or if you're familiar with it. Like, I'm a Virgo. So we do tend to be neat freaks, and we like some order and maintenance of some sorts.
All right. I'm a Cancer, and I don't really get it too much. I actually don't know anything about any other sign besides Cancer, so.
I mean, we at least for a Virgo speaking, we do tend to be neat freaks. Maintenance and stuff is important and key. But, yeah, like I just asked you when you came in to politely take off your shoes, footprints and all that.
Understood.
But, yeah, that's enough about coronavirus. But KnowitAll, you got your own story as far as, and a unique story, by the way, as far as why you're even rapping to begin with, which is always my question. Like, good, quote-unquote, bad rapper, whatever, however you feel about somebody as an artist, what makes them want to rap, and what's the source of inspiration, per se, to rap to begin with. But I did tell you off air before starting to record that you really won me over based off a tweet I saw randomly on the feed. I don't even remember why I stumbled upon yours. But you had posted a clip of one of the songs you did. You do. I like what you do. You put a lot of visual behind to accompany the sound. It might be a random cartoon or whatever you did in that case too. I was like, oh shit, I like what he said. I like what he did there. I went to your page. I checked out your profile. Led to your SoundCloud. Ran through everything you got going on too. And I was pleasantly surprised and sold off, hey, I'm a fan of KnowitAll now. Because this is some really good shit. And it's always, as far as hip hop's concerned too, it's always great to find out somebody new that's good, or new that you can fuck with immediately, like I did with your sound. So it was a very pleasant surprise again. You got a full project out on SoundCloud. You got some more stuff leading into Fear of Failure, which you dropped in November 2019, as you stated. To me, off air, excuse me. But you said you didn't take it seriously rapping until you were about 20 or so.
No, I've been rapping.
You've been rapping since 20.
7 years. Yeah, 20. And I didn't start taking it serious till I was like 24, 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was never necessarily playing around with it. One day in the summer, I had just got fired from a job for failing a drug test, right? I was like 20 years old. And something just told me, yo, just go buy a notebook from the 99-cent store. I went and bought a notebook, and I just started writing. I've always had a passion and love for, like, true hip-hop, and I always thought I could rap. One day, I just picked up a book and a pen, and I just started writing. Like, I just bought one out of nowhere. I didn't really make a plan to do it. It just kind of happened. Like, this was just, God wanted me to just, I feel like this is what I'm destined to do, honestly. Like,
okay. So, who, if anything, growing up inspired you to rap, or who might have been your favorite from early on that you remember?
From early on, I've always been like a lyricist. Had Eminem's, your DMX's, your Big Pun is my favorite of all time.
Okay.
Just people like that. And I got into MF Doom later. He's a real big part of like my passion for hip hop. MF Doom, that's my guy. Shout out him.
Okay.
Everything though, 50 Cent. I've been a hip hop head since I was younger. Like anything you could think of, I was into. But I was really always into lyricism.
And you know, I've always kind of slept on Pun myself. Not that I never respected him or put him up there as one of the top to ever do it, but there's always like maybe out of 10 people I meet that love hip hop, there's at least like 4 or 5 that'll put Pun as their number one of all time.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, yeah, I got to rediscover Pun again.
Definitely, please.
I mean, because, you know, he's always had the one go-to that everybody tries to rap the Twins with Fat Joe.
Right.
And that's a standout verse, of course it is.
Very
and there's no credit taken from him, but yeah, I got to rediscover Pun then, I think,
Please
at this
do.
point. You also liked Eminem. You stated you like Eminem, which makes sense. Where was your, I asked this to everybody that likes Eminem, where was your fall-off point with Eminem?
Fall-off point? That's a good question. He just, like this, just recent stuff, like in the last like 8 years or so, I guess, I just got tired of him. Like he just wasn't bringing me nothing that I needed to hear. Rap God and all of this stuff, like I don't need to hear it. Oh, Eminem, like you need, if you was into hip hop, you needed to hear all of that shit. You needed to hear Stan and all of this type of shit. You needed to hear. You don't need to hear this new shit. So I'm into music that means something, that's about something. I don't want to just hear you jibber jab and rap fast. That shit ain't impressive to me.
Yeah, because it's just like him showing off for the sake of, oh, I haven't been out for like a year or two with an album. Here,
Yeah.
just a reminder, I can rap real fast.
You're fucking Eminem. Like we know what you could do. Like you don't got nothing to say. You rich now. You made it. You when you first got on, you was rapping about how you was broke and all of this stuff, and your mom and this and that. You don't really have anything else to talk about. You made it. Like do something else.
He's the epitome of emceeing right now, literally, because he can just go off of one structured syllable if he wants to for like a whole verse or 2 or 3. And not have to switch up anything and still be like, wow, okay, impressive, but what are you saying? What's out there that matters anymore? And then my other thing with him, too, my hang-up is he just keeps bringing up, like, the same old skeletons out of the same old closet. They got the same amount of dust on them from before, beating the dead horse dead again.
Right.
Like the thing with the last album, Music to Be Murdered By. I know you said you didn't listen to it, but there's one called Stepdad, Stepfather, whatever. And it's the same thing again. Like if he wasn't raping his mom, he was killing his mom, he was burying his mom, and now the same thing to Stepdad. If he wasn't beating him up, if he wasn't planning to kill him, he's just, dreaming out loud what he wants to do to him. Again. So it's like,
Nobody wants to hear that shit no more.
no. One time is enough, or if, that was traumatizing for you too, we get it. But I think 1 or 2 times revisited might be fine. But then every album has to have one track dedicated to that. It's like, We get it.
And also, I feel like attacking your parents like that's like a young person thing anyway. I feel
That
like
too.
you're 40 going on 50. Like, you shouldn't be still attacking your freaking parents. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Haley's been grown up now,
She's
and
grown and looking great.
yeah, duck facing on IG like everybody else is too. So it's like, come on. Then she's gonna get back at you someday too. Like, come on.
Right.
It's gonna be the same endless cycle of nonsensical violence. At least on wax. Hopefully he's never done nothing to nobody. He did have that gun charge like way back when.
Deshaun Holdman with that guy, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but I can see the inspiration from both Pun and M. M always puts Pun at the top of his, top 5 and all that too, which makes sense in your case too that you derive from him. But Eminem is at this point like a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
To go with his sound.
Yeah, he is.
Pun was original and short-lived career. Who knows what route he might have gone had he lived longer.
Yep.
But he was definitely unique in his own. But what sold me off of you and your whole project in its entirety was the fact that you got a little bit of everything too there. There's the flow, there's the bars you have, the lines, the metaphors, how you set them up, and everything kind of leads into everything else too, accordingly. And the first example I wanted to play for everybody out there, which will play some more stuff off of Fear of Failure on SoundCloud and couple of tracks now on Spotify as well. We're working on getting the rest up there, as you stated.
So
We got It's Not a Game, which I know you're not familiar, but there was a track from Akinelli of his debut project, Vagina Diner, from 93. Exercise, which was the same concept record, which I always give credo and kudos to the concept album, concept record, because it means you force yourself to sit down with it, the whole concept to begin with. In your case, video games. Yeah. All right, you're a gamer, you like gaming. What are you going to name drop? What are you going to make it correlate to? How are you going to work this title to that title, leading to that one too? Make it fun, make it make sense, and actually what's the proper length? I think you nailed it with this one because it's short but sweet, but you get all kind of references in there too, and you got a lot of standout bars in this one, lines per se.
I think so too, man.
But I love the double entendre of my ex box 1. That whole line, how you set that up too, because my ex, meaning my ex-girl, my ex box 1, her box 1, as far as who got the best of that situation too. The Call of Duty line, the Final Fantasy 7 line, everything too. You'll hear for yourself right now too, but of course, how did that come up for you? How did you even come up with that concept to begin with?
I guess I was just sitting one day probably playing video games or something.
Of course.
And I think the first rhyme, blow weed like Nintendo cartridge. When I said that, I was like, oh, I could go somewhere with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took it from there. And I like where it went. And I really, really loved it. And I feel like it didn't really get the response that I wanted it to get because a lot of people didn't really get it. Like, but the people that do get it, they love it. And I really appreciate that. I need more people to hear it. When they do, it's gonna be a lot of people that be like, wow, he did his thing on that. Yeah. I love that song. Yo.
No, you absolutely did. Yeah, and that's the sad thing too. You have to kind of be a gamer at least a little bit to kind of get everything.
You can't just play 2K. You gotta or GTA. You gotta play video games.
Nah, you gotta be diversified at least in what you played in the past and all that.
Right.
That song is crazy. So we're getting to this one to start things off. It's Not a Game off of Fear of Failure from 2019, of course, from who else but KnowitAll, here on Something Spectacular. Who this, of course. You'll know more about him, in depth about the behind the scenes of It's Not a Game, and perhaps he can tell us more about that and then some, because, he happens to be a know-it-all. So why not go with that? All right, It's Not a Game. We'll be back.
KnowitAll. Yeah, it's not a game, huh? It's not a fucking game, right? Yo. I'm an animal. I'm like Hannibal. not Lecter, more of Carthage. Blow weed like Nintendo cartridge. True love give me head like it's partridge and pear tree. I'm not at ease till the D's off the block. My niggas putting work in all black like Mr. Game and Watch. I don't intervene, give these young niggas the game and watch. These young boys gotta feed them like Tamagotchi before the state do while they upstate getting stocky. This street shit is not a game. Stay in the square lane or you gon' feel the flame too. I think outside the box, fuck a GameCube. The ones who show you love, the ones who spill your blood be the same dude. I always stay true. Growing up, you gotta fade it too. Now the young niggas spin like Zangief do. Shit sad is not a playing matter. Seeing brain matter got me wound up like guitars. My music even old dudes play it like Atari. Most these new niggas can't rap like Safari. Good weed burn my chest like Bacardi. Never go to parties, high as a Hardy brother. Blunt hit like Clubber Lang, it's not a game. Used to 360 in my Xbox. That pussy was good, my Xbox One. Glad I don't got a gun. Modern war is not fair. Kids dying out here. Fuck with me, that'll be your Final Fantasy. This shit is not an arcade. Mine move faster than the Parkway. P.S. For you niggas still thinking this a game, put a quarter in, I punch out. Or I pull a little Mac out, it's game over. Yeah, it's game over. You got better, came closer. But you know it's game over. Hey, yo, it's game over. Game over. Game over, nigga. Motherfucking game over.
All right, that was It's Not a Game from Fear of Failure, 2019 release from, he just happens to be one, it seems like, well-versed in everything as far as knowledge is concerned. Know-it-all. Now, is it Know-it-all NYC or just Know-it-all?
It's Know-it-all, but I sometimes say Know-it-all NYC. Like, it just sounds catchy, but Know-it-all is Know-it-all.
It's not a game. That's a standout for me, at least, being a gamer. Not heavy like I used to be when I was younger, but then again, I don't know about you, but I couldn't afford every system when it dropped.
Of course not.
You got what you could. Like, I remember still, I got the first Nintendo, in 1990, so, 5 years after it's been out. Then, the next summer or spring, Super Nintendo came out, so I was like, yeah, I'm never getting that. Because if I even asked for something above my, pay rate or whatever at that age, I was getting smacked up.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I got a GameCube in 2006. I got a PlayStation 2 in 2007. I was behind. I was very behind.
Shit, I still remember getting my PS2, about 4 years later.
Right.
But then that had a 10-year life, I think.
PS2 was the best system ever. It lasted. First of all, there were so many games.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 is there's no games. PlayStation 2, there were so many games. That era of gaming, there were so many games. Now it's more about the visual and you're supposed to latch onto a game for a long time now. Red Dead Redemption, that was a really good game.
That was such a good game too.
Really
yeah.
good. But it's we need more. We just need more.
Yeah, and it's only really Rockstar taking that risk anymore now with compromise with a game.
But yeah, they don't take risks with games. Back in the day, you would have a game that was just a dumb game, dumb fun game. Now every game is serious. It's about something you already know. They're not creating new games.
Yeah, or they're all doing that same formula of reactive button pressing. Kind of cue it here.
It's more about the cinematics now than less about the game.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, it all looks great, but then where's the fun?
Yeah, it's not hard. Games back in the day were hard.
Yeah, and you felt something from beating it too. I heard all kinds of stories from everybody else who had their version of it, but I never beat, I think, Sonic 2.
I never got past the second round, the underwater round where you're going through the silver things. I was terrible.
I think we're talking about the same one, actually, the same level. I got stuck
underwater.
Yeah, with the metal
Silver
loops and all that.
Yeah, yo, I never got past that ever in life.
God, I can never beat. I even downloaded it on my phone too, and I still can't beat it now. Or no, I actually got to the boss, but he was doing some bullshit about he'd have a big needle, and when he's about to drop, he pulls a tile from under you. You got one less space to jump around on, so then I suck, so I get stuck with one space left, and then I can only jump up literally. So he fucking me up in all kinds of ways.
Yeah,
but
I never got past that.
Yeah, that was torture. But the funny thing was, I read on the Xbox, whatever it's coming out next, it's finally going to be backwards compatible up to like
5.
PlayStation 5,
It's
right?
supposed to be backwards compatible.
Same thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I actually heard the Xbox was supposed to be like all the way back to like Xbox
Okay,
almost,
I like that.
which is good. It's fair. But then I don't know if you saw the concept art for it. It looks like a shoebox just tilted upwards.
Don't they all kind of look like that?
It looks like those portable ACs, kind of like that.
Oh, man, I'm not really worried about how it looks. Does it work right? Does it not get a red ring of death?
Oh
All
yeah.
of that. Like, how it looks, I mean, I could deal with that if it's ugly. I can accept it
But as long as it plays back everything like,
and play smoothly, and they don't charge me for every little they don't do all these microtransactions. That has to go away. They have to stop doing it so much. Like,
yeah.
they've got too comfortable just charging us for every little thing. Like, you can literally pay your way through a game now. Like, any game you can pay your way through.
Yeah, yeah.
That's corny.
Or like the mobile games, right? You like watch an ad, watch a video 30 seconds, and you get like 3 more lives or whatever. My girl's stuck on that. She plays what's it called? Bubble Witch. And she's like at level 1500 at this point now. She's like a genius with it. But every time she does lose, or she's stuck on like 3 bubbles left, she'll lose. She has to watch a video for a minute and then like get back into it. But even that's like it's never ending with her. But yeah, I mean, gaming though, I mean, you did actually like kind of raise a red flag for me as far as I don't like to go with the general, public opinion on stuff. I like to be my own individual per se.
Yeah.
But you didn't like or you didn't buy into Spider-Man 4 on the PS4.
I said that? I did say
I
that.
believe you did. You tweeted, sir, so it's out there in the cyberspace.
I mean, I liked it, but you know what happened? That came out around the same time Red Dead Redemption came out. So I just got right into that. I didn't even get to beat Spider-Man.
Ah, okay.
And that was just so much better. That was like the best game that year. That might be the best game I've played on PlayStation 4 so far. Red Dead Redemption 2 is like really, really good. Like,
it is.
really good. One of my favorite games ever, possibly. Like, that
Really?
series
Up there?
for me. That series for me, yeah.
Shit. Because it was the other way for me, actually. I was playing Red Dead, I was loving it too, but then Spider-Man dropped, and I just like picked that up and kind of got stuck with that. No pun intended. But in that case, you're a gamer, so it's a given.
Yeah,
So can you name, let's say, top 3 or 5 games all the time for you?
sure. Gotta say Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Okay, why specifically 2, though?
The selection of characters and also the cartoony graphics. I don't like when 3 came out. I don't like the new graphics for fighting games. I like the cartoony graphic, like arcade graphics. You could go back to that game anytime and it's great.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it just looks. I don't like how it looks, like the newer ones. I just like the cartoony graphics. I like the selection of characters. There were a bunch of fucking characters. It's my favorite fighting game ever.
Okay.
Another favorite games of all time. Def Jam Fight for New York.
Yes.
Definitely got to be in there. I replayed that. Remember back then, like games really had replay value. Like you could beat that game and the next week be trying to beat it again. Like now it's like once you beat a game, you don't. I beat Red Dead Redemption. I haven't got back on it. Like it's just gonna sit in my house forever. But,
Yeah.
all right. Def Jam Fight for New York. NBA Street Volume 2, which is like a very revered basketball game. NBA Street Volume 2, that's the same era. GameCube. What's another one? Gotta throw San Andreas in there.
Yeah.
I'm just
San
throwing
Andreas.
basic bitch picks in there. Like that shit is crazy. But another favorite. All right, I did 4. I'm gonna just say Madden 2005 when they put the hit stick in the truck stick. Like you could like hit the shit out of somebody. The one with Ray Lewis on the front of it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's my 5. All right.
Goddamn. I mean, I love the randomness of Madden. I haven't played at least like.
It is not good anymore.
Yeah, I haven't played like at least in 5 years, but I used to just love picking up and just like randomly pressing buttons and hoping I did something right. Because I'm not sports savvy anyway, so
Yeah.
I mean, outside of wrestling, that's about all I know.
I love
sports.
wrestling. I love old wrestling, Attitude Era stuff. Like this new stuff, I can't really get into, but I know a lot. I know a little bit about the back in the day wrestling. I might do a song like that too.
Oh, if you did that,
Concept
yeah.
with wrestlers, yeah,
That'd be
something
awesome.
like that. That's coming. Matter of fact.
So how familiar are you with the modern product?
I mean, I know a couple of people. I know like the main guys, but
Okay. So you kind of strayed away, if anything.
yeah.
Good. There's so much of it, first off, now to watch. Raw's 3 hours, SmackDown's 2 hours.
They weren't always like that.
No, Raw was 2
2
hours.
hours, right?
Then like I think
SmackDown,
was an hour. Then it went to 2.
Sunday Night Heat was like half an hour or something.
Yeah, and then that was a classic match. I don't know. You remember the halftime Heat, Rock and Mankind?
Halftime. Was it on Sunday Night Heat?
It was during the Super Bowl.
Oh, I definitely don't remember that.
It was, I think, 2000. It was a Rock and Mankind, the empty arena match.
Empty arena.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, but it's not. I'm not remembering right now.
Yeah, that's a classic though. Watch that if you can.
For sure.
It's classic. But that's Sasha Banks behind me right there.
I was trying to figure out that's from. She's a wrestler from today.
Yeah, she's one of the modern ones too. She's actually legit Snoop Dogg's cousin in real life.
Wow.
You can see in the face a little bit the similarities.
Got a life size cutout. Okay, I like it.
I mean, hey, it's all right. But I mean, hopefully you can see why I got her. If anything, I didn't get Brock Lesnar in that case. But who do you remember from back when then that you really loved, or your favorite era, if anything?
Favorite era, it got to be Attitude Era, like 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, around there, definitely. No Mercy, you know. No Mercy.
N64,
That
yeah.
era. That's my era right there.
My only hang up with that game was, maybe you had the same issue too, was like you get to some point in the career mode and then just races.
Oh, yo, that's not every copy. I actually watched like this video about it. Like only a few copies had that problem. I don't think I've ever had that problem. But yeah, there were a few copies that had that problem.
Oh, so I just bought it too late then, probably.
Something, I don't know. Great game though.
Yeah, that was so great. There's still people nowadays that still mod it to play it today.
That shit looks crazy. I want to get my hands on some of that. That shit looks crazy.
Yeah. Goddamn. But that was a good game too. Thank you for bringing that up.
One too. What was it called? There was a WCW one made by THQ too. That came out, matter of fact, right before it.
Revenge, I think. I had that one too.
That one was fire too. Then Revenge, WrestleMania. Was it a WrestleMania?
WrestleMania 2000, and then No Mercy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good games, man. That's when games was like, you could play that shit all day. Like,
yeah. But then WrestleMania 2000 had like the never-ending career mode though, because you'd have to have like a match, 2 matches a week, and everything too.
I don't remember all those details. You're good though.
Well, I didn't like that one for that reason. But then, yeah, No Mercy, they got it just right, even with the blocky graphics and everything too, which is okay.
Back then, that shit was amazing, man.
It was just fun
until they got hurt and they started holding their arm like this.
Oh, I used to love when he used to put him in a hole for too long and like a specific body, like oh.
Yeah, yo, great time.
Yeah, goddamn.
For real.
Wish we could go back, but yeah, I mean, but now you got VR gaming.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, it's like too in depth, too compromising. I think. I don't know if you ever saw that video of the guy. Of course, he was Asian, no pun intended, but no jokes there, no racism at least intended. But he was like just going crazy with the back shots on the VR doll with the VR headset on.
Wait, he was having sex?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, I never see that.
It was at some sort of electronic convention. They just had like the doll, I guess, bent over doggy style. He was going crazy on it with the VR headset, so he was just imagining his ideal type of girl too.
That's funny as fuck.
It was just in public display like that too, which is like, like you were saying actually off air, it leads back to that with the phones. Like you won't go past the iPhone 8.
Right.
Because it's got the face scan recognition technology and all that too. And I guess that kind of ties into conspiracy theories, buying into that.
Yeah.
Which again makes sense at this point in age. It makes you lose a sense of what's going on because you're so attached to the phone, where I think I did read something, or it might as well be true, but everyone's looking at the phone so much where posture is like a problem for everybody at this point now.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I see another thing that I have a problem with is I see people walking down the street not paying attention. Like, yo,
Oh God, that's killing me now too. Yeah.
you're not paying attention to where you're going, man. Like, look up. Like, we walk. By the way, if we were both on our phones, we'd walk into each other.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just you topple over people, or I really get tempted to the point now I just want to take phones and just toss them to the side. It's just something. There's got to be something like a blind person with a stick, like just tap them in advance so they
They're
know.
better. Blind people are better. Have better. Know where they are better. I know a blind guy that goes where. That like takes the train by himself, all type of stuff. Ask him, you need help? He's like, nah, I'm good. People on their phones tripping and falling in the street and shit.
And that reminds me actually, Amanda Diva, right?
Who's that?
Amanda Diva. Amanda Seales nowadays.
Amanda Seales. The name sounds familiar.
She was a comedian. She was on MTV a lot. She's like on what was that show?
Man,
What's that show on HBO with oh God, what's
She's
it?
black or she?
She's black. She's black.
Light skin.
Light skin, like blondish hair, curly.
She was like on The View or something the other day. I think I know who you're talking about.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was doing a gig years ago, and I went. In the news a day or two before, there was a story about a girl that on her phone, she was on the train platform, she didn't look up in time, and she fell into the platform and like broke her arm, some bullshit, whatever. So it goes, of course, she proves she's stupid for doing that. That's on her. But then this girl, Amanda Diva, she had a show, so she was like, oh, by the way, I want to, if you can, chip in $1 or $2. I want to help my girl. She's having her hospital treatment done, for whatever happened to her. I was like, okay, cool. It's like $1 or $2. I trust her enough. But then she goes at the very end, afterwards, she's like, oh, thanks so much, everybody, for chipping in. It's crazy because my girl's the one that was actually on the news for falling onto the train platform, the tracks and shit like that, too. And I went back and took my $1 back in her face because it was like, come on, that's nothing to be, like, proud of or, like, even commend. Or support, because that's strictly on her.
Right.
And that's off her own strength of just like being that, out of touch with whatever's going on around her.
Yeah.
But so then you just strictly trust your iPhone 8 now, which you have. But you have said that it helps a lot with like what you're doing, of course, Twitter and
Of course, yeah. I mean, of course, it has its benefits, but it also has its negative, like just like everything else. I mean, this is like I just got into Team iPhone like within the last year, and I really like it. I don't think I'm going back, but I just don't like the facial recognition and all that type of stuff.
I mean, the bad thing is now, I think probably with the next generation of phones, they're going to try to like force you into the next one, the next upgrade.
That's what they've been doing. That's why Apple has a lawsuit now for slowing down the older generations of phones.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, like they're paying out. Like they actually paying out.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. It's fair because you know what? It's like if you want to hold on to something that you trust so much, at least like in your case, the iPhone 8, hey, that's fine to do. I mean, it works.
Like things are supposed to last a long time. It's like they expect everybody to buy the new iPhone every year. Like very few people can afford to buy the new iPhone every year.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I just found out this whole little loophole they got for Sprint, at least. I don't know about any other companies, but I leased my phone. So I got the X, the one before the 11 that dropped.
Yeah.
So now I just found out by email that, hey, your lease is coming up. It's 18 months already since you had the phone. So you have the option to upgrade it, blah, 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 et cetera. Whatever else is included there, too. It's like, maybe I'll think about it. I don't know. But then they're like, oh, if you want to technically own the phone that you've been paying along with your bill as a part of a lease option, you only have until May 5th. If not, then you're just going to keep paying the phone in full until it's fully paid off. I was like, God damn, I thought that was the point of the lease.
Yeah.
That was like another $45 I was paying like a month besides the bill.
Wow.
So now I'm forced to either upgrade or just keep paying this phone till forever, until it breaks or something like that.
All these phone companies are scams. All of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a way for us to buy into it or to like eventually build our own technology, hopefully to get on the train too, so we don't have to rely on it so much or, make ends meet that way. But again, you got Fear of Failure, which is a really diverse and well-balanced project in itself. You got a lot of themes going on there too. Really something you need to dive into deeply. The next track I want to go into, off the project itself, of course, is Devil in the Streets of Queens. Which really spoke to me because besides it being in its own sense catchy, I know that wasn't the intent. You were trying to put it out there that, literally there's the devil in the streets of Queens as he is everywhere, right. Prominent. But the part that really stuck out to me from that track was it was more of the bars specifically, and I wanted to write it down and quote to get it right, was pictures up in police stations. I was in school with the wildest of them. The block is oven hot. The devil on the benches, plotting on who's the next ninja on the picture, which is deep because that's the whole point of the track, pointing out the devil is everywhere you look, wherever he may be. If not Queens, he might be in Brooklyn most likely because they're dirty out there.
Yo.
But how did that come up for you? How did you come up with that track itself?
On my side of Queens, Long Island City, it's 3 projects, and there's a lot of beef and like shooting back and forth, murder. People I know have been killed over the past 2 years. Like, and that day, I just woke up and something just happened. Somebody got killed, and it just made me like, yo, the devil's really in the streets of Queens. Like, cause I've never seen it like that before. Like, it was something new to me. So I'm just like, yo, the devil's in the streets of Queens, and I just started writing it. And Laptop sent me the beat, and it just happened to flow so perfectly. So yeah, that song is heartfelt. Like, that's exactly how I felt the moment. I felt like the devil was in the streets of Queens. And
Okay, so it wasn't, let's say, your overall experience necessarily, like growing up. It was just more like that kind of moment stuck out to you.
no, this was from like where I was at that exact moment. It wasn't because growing up, my side of Queens wasn't really like that. It wasn't dangerous. Like now, it's much different.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because you hear more the other way around, having it been like, well, back when it was so terrible, like Left Rack, not too far from here, it was like so bad. Now it's kind of cleaned up and all whatever.
It's kind of reversed for me, but you know, also I was like a little kid back then, so I didn't really know what was going on in the streets. So that's a factor too.
That too. That's a good point to make there too about that. Devil in the Streets of Queens. It plays into fear of failure.
Fear of failure is basically what it is. Fear of failure. Don't want to fail. Want to win. I wake up and my work ethic is so crazy because I have a fear of failure. I don't want to fail. I see people in my neighborhood that have went nowhere with their life, and I just don't want to be. I just don't want to be that. I just have a fear of that. Like it's a cycle, and especially like in my community, it's just a cycle of people failing. I don't want to be in that cycle. That's just it. Like my friend shout out to my man Josh JV Tech who made the art. I love how he threw Gerald in there.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, that wasn't even my idea. He threw that in.
I was going to ask you, that wasn't yours then to think of. Okay. Were you a fan of Hey Arnold by any chance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wish he was my friend. He was the best friend you could ever have.
Even with the odd-shaped head?
Sure.
Well, that would have been good, like, back when, though, because, like, even when that cartoon came out then, you could still make fun of people for stuff like that. Nowadays, everything's too sensitive where, like,
God.
you know, you're a redhead. Hey, don't, play me down like that.
How did we even get to this point, like, of everybody so sensitive? And it's like people are so sensitive. It's like the sensitive people are the ones bullying everybody. Like the people that, don't talk about me because, like, those are the ones actually bullying everybody.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That's a point well made. Say it louder, as they say on the female talk shows or anything. But yeah, that's true, because if you really think about it, it's reversed now. Because the ones you picked on back when, I forget what show, I think it might have been The Simpsons, like the ones you picked on back when that were nerds, geeks, whatever, end up being your bosses, your managers, whatever, too, and they'll take it out on you, if not the next batch of the next generations of, bullies or assholes that treated them that way. But yeah, it's become that way where, like, I used to love racist jokes.
Yeah.
But because, for me at least, I'm basically of the philosophy, just forgive it if it's funny.
Right.
If it's funny, it means there was thought put into it. You kind of put it together. It was like inspired off of something. Because racism, bigotry, all that stuff is just plain ignorance, first off.
Absolutely.
And it's just, just spitting whatever out. It's kind of like an Eminem track at this point. Just spitting it out putting it out there for the sake of. But if it's well thought out, it's funny at least, then there's no harm, no foul. But I miss those days. Like, you can have like a, you're from Queens, so obviously you can have an Indian friend, you can have a Haitian friend, you can have a whatever friend, and pick fun at each other, rib each other with like
day,
this thing.
You can't do it.
You laugh it off, or if, at worst, you like maybe push each other, punch each other a little too hard. But then like you shake it off. Nowadays it's just like, or I used to like doing back when, at least. Now I know better, of course. Not because I had to learn the hard way, but because I can read the vibes, per se. I like to compliment women. If she had like if she had like a nice blouse on, or nice eyes, whatever, just not like no sultry, no lusting for him like that, but like, hey, nice blouse, or hey, that's a pretty dress, whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
It could be so misinterpreted nowadays too. I'm in the office setting, so yeah, I really can't do that stuff. What do you miss, I guess, from New York from back when that you could like get away with then, not now anymore?
This is the school's not like pushing like homosexuality on the kids. Like kids coming home at the age of 8, like, yeah, I'm gay. How the fuck do you? Like I feel like because I don't know. I feel like the schools just push that shit on them. Because when I was in school, when we were in school, the teacher would call you a F word and something. Like you might have a teacher that would call you that or something.
Oh damn.
well, my school district now it's like they get like if a boy comes in a dress, they gotta just act like. I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah.
No, I get you, because nowadays too, you got the whole thing. You can't assume anyone's gender anymore now too.
It's just ridiculous. It's just like a bunch of ridiculous stuff that doesn't even make any sense.
And this whole thing with being triggered too, it's like triggered from what? It's because you want to be, or like I was saying that before with a little earlier today. Like I love Talib Kweli.
Oh my god.
Who doesn't? Who's a backpacker, hip hop head, whatever too. I hate following him on Twitter because he's so easily triggered by
I
anybody.
have a story.
Oh, okay, please.
Yo, one day Talib Kweli was arguing with some guy. He follows me actually.
Okay.
On Twitter. One day he was arguing with some guy, some bigot according to him, and something about the word females. And I asked Talib Kweli, like, is calling women females derogatory? And he lost his mind on me. He's like, oh, you're enabling bigots. Your name is KnowitAll. You're supposed to know everything. Like, he lost his mind on me. You're not a victim. All of this, yo. And then I tweeted about it, and like a bunch of different people were like, yeah, T did this to me too. He did it. Like this is what he's known for on Twitter, like attacking people, like unwarrantedly attacking people.
And it's so sad because he's like, he did Black Star, he did these albums, he put out so much shit.
Man. Come on.
Yeah, but goddamn, he's like feeding into all the trolls.
It just doesn't even make sense. You would think somebody of his like stature wouldn't be just arguing with every single person and fake profile that tweets him. Like it's ridiculous.
At this point, I think he's like just a joke now too, or like somebody like easy pickings for anybody. He just wants to like get some attention of some sorts.
If you're just a random person and you say something to Talib Kweli, you can have a full-fledged argument with him. Like if you're a fan of him, if you want to talk to him, just go on Twitter and tag him and say something crazy. He's going to argue back with you.
And you know, it's funny to think that I would see more like Chuck D or like
he follows me too.
Oh, shout out to him. Good. He should. Chuck D or like Spike Lee or whatever. They be more the ones to be like more triggered per se to like get provoked in those kind of debates.
Talib in his music, he doesn't even seem like that type of guy.
No.
I don't know.
But I mean, I don't know. Talib kind of let me down on Twitter. I still follow him, of course, but you know, it's hard to see like every time I check the feed, like he's arguing with somebody.
They say don't meet your heroes. I met him on Twitter, and it was really bad.
Goddamn, he didn't block you, did he?
Nah, no, he didn't block me. No, I still see all his tweets and stuff. I still like his tweets, but I just know he's a psychopath. It's all good though.
Oh yeah, actually that reminds me of I got blocked by somebody too. Well, you don't watch the modern day product of wrestling, but there was a guy named Darren Young. He was like a black John Cena, literally.
Really?
He looked just like him. Just yeah, no, he was literally just a light skinned John Cena with an afro.
That is hilarious. I've never heard of him.
But he just so happened to be gay. I don't know if you saw on TMZ a couple of years ago. He was the one that came out like the gay wrestler, openly gay, whatever.
I probably did see it. That sounds familiar.
But that was his like claim to fame per se, because otherwise he wasn't really doing much.
In today's climate, like he could blow up though. Like I don't see why that's an issue.
Here's the funny thing though, because it wasn't even like anyone put him out there as gay or said like he's a F word or whatever. No, he just like randomly they bumped into him at the airport, some TMZ guy. And he says, hey, why don't you make news out of this? I'm gay, something like that. And like hilarious. It was there. It kind of made no news. And then like he got let go of anyway because his contract was up.
That's probably why they let go of him though.
I wouldn't be
Vince McMahon
surprised.
Strikes me as a bigot. Like he's definitely a bigot.
Yeah, I can see it. But he blocked me like a year before or so because now I swear I made this as a joke, but now I'm confused for life. I'm perplexed per se because do you know Paige, the wrestler?
Paige, that's his whole name. That's her whole name. I don't know.
Well, it's her wrestling name. She's like a really pale-looking British girl.
I'm just gonna say no because I'm sure I've seen her before. I mean, I follow a lot of wrestling pages on Twitter, so I'm sure I've seen her before.
If you see her, yeah, you probably know her if you see her. But she made a post with a picture of him in there, and I forget what the gist of it was, but I just tweeted to her. He just so happened to be in the tweet. I tweeted to her. Oh no. It was she was testing out some makeup. He was there, and he was like playing around trying to reach for the makeup. But this is before anyone knew he was gay. So I was like, oh, you better watch your back because he's going to steal your blush or whatever. Something like that.
Oh.
I tweeted that to her, but the next thing I know, months later, I was going to tweet him randomly, and I can't find him. Then I go look at his page, I'm fucking blocked.
Yo, that's crazy.
So I don't even know if it was a bad joke or if you just took it as I like outed him as gay or something like that
It's
too.
crazy that these people have the time to just be blocking people like that. Like, take time out of their day to just block people, a bunch of people.
And then that became his whole campaign too, like hashtag block the hate, like from way back when. So yeah, I guess I was included by default
Oh my
on that.
God.
So I mean, the devil's in the street of Queens. The devil might be out there a little bit in the Twitter feed too, depending on who you
Definitely.
ask.
Definitely.
Don't trigger Talib. We know that much right
Please.
now.
I mean, unless you want to interact with him, like, go ahead and just say something crazy. He's going to respond to you. I promise you that. He actually has his own podcast. Have you?
I heard. I haven't heard any episodes yet, but I've heard like good things about it.
I
Like,
see it on Instagram.
okay, well, hopefully it keeps him off Twitter. In that case, it keeps him
It
busy.
doesn't at all. But
It doesn't. Okay, so it hasn't lessened at all.
no.
The Devil's in the Street of Queens from KnowitAll. This is again from the project called Fear of Failure, 2019 release. Looking forward to hearing more from KnowitAll when we come back here. Something spectacular. Who this? Again, Devil in the Streets of Queens. Also on Spotify, by the way, so check it out there too. Stream, follow him. Let's get up his listenership.
Devil out in Queens, and he taking lights up. I knew what I was doing when I first picked the mic up. Hot girl summer, chicken sandwich and ice cups. Queens crazy, get your life took. I tried to live by the book, still the boys tried to book me. Seen a nigga get killed, act like I wasn't looking. Sell my hoodie in the bookends. Your hood don't ring bells, you tellin' niggas you from Brooklyn. I say what up and keep it pushing. Niggas will get your shit pushed in. You hate Trump, how about Bush then? How about Hillary? Innocent babies hit with heavy artillery. Shit sick, the world wicked, fucking picket sign. Come get this 9. Think who to kill first as we hit this dime. I'm always in my prime. This is rhyming. I'ma do it till I'm 68. Is the earth like a ball or is it like a dinner plate? Hit an 8, my brain regenerate. Your girl know what I wanted to do like I'm D-Generation X. But yo, the city's hectic. Yo, catch 50 flexing. Fuck a election. Gotta watch which hood I'm stepping in. Smoke a joint and stay on pointers in the regiment. Yeah. Hey yo, the devil in the streets of Queens, nobody safe. Niggas hate, all you see is yellow tape. Hey yo, the devil in the streets of Queens, nobody safe. Niggas hate, all you see is yellow tape. The devil in the streets of Queens, he taking life. Panic strike faster than lightning. No more fighting, niggas flocking. Like it's no other option. Too many boys dropping. Niggas copping out to avoid life. From my side to Jamaica, niggas' souls is vacant. Pictures up in police stations. I was in school with the wildest of them. The block is oven hot. I see the devil on the benches, plotting on who's the next nigga on the picture. For the hood, I write a scripture. Was never on no blood or crip shit. Queens with niggas grip shit. Devil right behind them. Wonder how many niggas got killed lacking cause of ganja. Kinda throwing up, can't get getting it cracking off his conscience. Know it all, a continent, my content. Vent to a blunt. The war is never ending when it's death on both sides. How is a relationship rekindled? Yeah. The devil in the streets of Queens, nobody safe. Niggas hate, all you see is yellow tape. Hey yo, the devil in the streets of Queens, nobody safe. Niggas hate, all you see is yellow tape. Hey yo, the devil in the streets of Queens, nobody safe. Niggas hate, all you see is yellow tape.
Again, from Fear of Failure, 2019 release. Ooh, on the check-in with the cough. That's good. We know you're in good health, though. So, going back to your health, of course, we're talking to and speaking of KnowitAll. KnowitAll NYC on all platforms, of course, as well. IG, Twitter, where you like to trigger Talib. Not you, just anybody, pretty much, apparently. But again, you can stream the project on SoundCloud, and that track as well is also on Spotify. So again, emphasis on KnowitAll, all together one word, K in the front because he does know it all.
It's also on Apple Music.
Oh yeah, also on Apple. Good to add that in. Apple Music as well. Devil in the Streets of Queens and Ignorance Part 2 is They're the two on both Spotify and Apple Music. But yeah, Devil in the Streets of Queens, like you said, it was based off more of a moment that kind of caught you out there and made you realize at a certain point in time the devil really is literally in the streets of Queens, as he is everywhere. But is there more out there now? Like you said, you're part of Queens, an LIC on your side.
Yeah.
Is there more out there now that makes you kind of confirm that for yourself? Devil's still out there?
I mean, for the last few years, it's just been like there's been a dark cloud over Long Island City as far as all of the violence and stuff. It's just a bad vibe, especially on social media. You know, people arguing back and forth. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Like it's just bad. Like it'll get better though. But yeah, it's been the devil is still there. He's not. He likes it there apparently.
Are you born and raised in LIC or?
Yep.
Okay, so you always been LIC. I don't know. For some reason, I thought you were from Jamaica or something.
Queens.
Yeah, or I think you mentioned that or something. I might have misunderstood.
My whole family's from there.
Oh, from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So that you kind of branched off, if anything.
Well, yeah. My mom moved out there and then had me out there. Like.
Okay. I like LIC though. I mean, I'm from Astoria, so
Oh, really?
we're like cousins, I guess.
Story of projects.
No, just Astoria in general, because
okay. Yeah.
I moved around a lot, so Astoria was the one I spent the most time in.
They're fixing the story up even better. Like it looks really good.
Yeah.
A lot of condos and stuff going up.
Oh, I remember. I got kicked out because of that when they started doing that massive gentrification. Yeah.
Have you ever been by the pier? Like
Lately or?
Yeah, like well,
Not lately. No.
they build up a bunch of condos. It's really nice, like a really upscale neighborhood, like really upscale.
Do you mean the pier by the Pepsi sign? Or?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I was there last year actually. Yeah.
It's really upscale now.
Yeah, it's fancy smancy out there. It's like that whatever part of Brooklyn that is by the Pier 2. I think
Battery Park, Williamsburg, or something like that.
No, I'm sorry, not Brooklyn. Downtown.
Battery Park, yeah, that's Battery Park.
Battery Park, yeah. They got some.
They do look similar. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not unique. So I really wasn't like impressed like that because I went to the one in LIC first, and then last year I went to a De La show out there. I forget where, but it was downtown. So you might be right, Battery Park, I think. Yeah, that was out there, and it looks just so similar.
Very similar. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, exactly, like the same setup in the wood planks and all that too. But yeah, I mean, I still remember when I was still in Astoria because I would have stayed there longer, obviously. But then, at least the co-op I used to live in, the Acropolis. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's on Ditmars and 35th Street.
Okay, I know where that's at.
Yeah, not too far from the N train. But I mean, you can't say it nowadays, but I will anyway because it's true. The Jews bought me out. They kicked me out of where I was and paid my rent for 1 month and said, hey, you're lucky to get that. Get out of here. Pretty much. So then that's when I moved out to like, I hopped around Jackson Heights, East Elmhurst a little bit too, Corona. I was in Left Rack for a couple of years. And yeah, well, now I ended up here in Rego Park. But yeah, Queens mostly all my life. So then you're mostly just, your whole life has been LIC.
All Queens, yeah, all LIC.
Okay. How do you feel then about when I had this growing up? I don't know how much you had that. Like Queens natives born and raised saying, oh, I'd rather be in Brooklyn, or oh, Brooklyn's cool. I'd rather move out there when I'm older, kind of thing.
I feel like I've never heard that.
Really?
Yeah. Like Long Island City, we're very we love our area. Like we talk like people from where I'm from talk down on like Brooklyn and shit. Oh, you going to Brooklyn? Brooklyn's dirty. Like what you said.
Exactly.
Like,
it is.
No, I could never see myself wanting to go from Queens to Brooklyn.
No.
No offense to Brooklyn. I mess with Brooklyn, so shout out to them.
I mean, listen, it doesn't go beyond my my bias for Jay-Z. I'll give him that.
You don't like Jay?
No, I do.
Yeah,
I have a bias for him. So
I forgot to mention him. Yeah, I'm a really big Jay-Z fan, more so than Nas. And I'm
really?
Jay-Z, yes.
Okay. We'll talk about it. You know, come on. That's unique to its own. What makes you prefer Jay over Nas?
Just the early Jay-Z, he was just so crazy, and then I just recently started listening to like his like early 2000 stuff. Yo, he's just my nigga. He's just like the GOAT. Like I don't know, he's really good, and he's been really, really good for a long time. And then if you add his business stuff into it, it's like he's just the GOAT. He's impeccable.
Yeah, that on top of that really seals the deal. But I mean, we have to emphasize a little asterisk next to his billions. He's a co-billionaire with Bey. So
Yeah, that was another good decision, marrying Beyonce.
That too. Well, I mean, come on, it's Beyonce too in the prime, like 03.
Right.
Like, I would have definitely,
Right.
in any case scenario.
Yo, right now.
Oh, still, yeah. Oh my God. I want to say I don't know how big. I like to look at women, not subject them like that, but I like to look at women like trading cards. Like, I still remember one of my favorite J-Los was like 99, 2000 J-Lo.
Okay, that's it. That's like looking at it like sport. That's how sports people look at stuff. Nah, you got to go with a living color J-Lo.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was nice looking back then too.
She was.
But the hair was crazy with everybody, like it was back then.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
The shade of lipstick was too dark or too intense, or whatever. But I think 99, 2000 J-Lo was at its peak.
You might be right.
Because then she went too blonde with the hair and like too fine with like the features and all that too. I guess for the movies. But then who's really watching the movies for her?
That's around the era she started really getting rich too.
That too. When she really popped off, of course. But then, you know, who really watches her movies for her? I mean, unless it's just you flip on the channel and randomly stumble upon it.
Enough. What else has she had? I know that movie Enough.
Enough wasn't bad, but
yeah, I remember watching it as a little kid. Like I don't remember it being good or bad. I just remember it being me having enough of it. I had enough. I don't want any more. The one where she's a maid.
Oh, Made in Manhattan.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had some bad movies, man. Shout out to J-Lo though.
She got the formula somehow still to be out here. But Geely was pretty bad. Did you ever catch that one?
Geely, I've heard. I know exactly what that is. It's another bad movie that I didn't see. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that was
the white guy was the lead role, right?
Ben Affleck.
Right.
That was very bad. And a very
pointless movie. Like these are just pointless movies we just named. Like, what was the point? I don't like pointless art. Like, I like art that means something and like it's like it stands. Like if you go back and watch Geely right now, you'd be like, what the fuck? Why did they make this?
Yeah, who signed on to it? Because I think at some point she was really doing it for more the bag. And that makes sense. She wants to, like, you know, secure her future and all that, but at the point of compromising who she is. I don't really think she was ever going to be heralded as, like, I mean, what, she just got an Oscar nomination for this stripper movie they did with Cardi B.
She's supposed to be Jenny from the Block, though.
Right. And then, funny enough, she had to go back to being a stripper from the Bronx, at least in the movie.
She played a stripper?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
That was the one with Cardi B, Hustlers.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was like late last year it came out.
Wow.
It got really good reviews.
Netflix?
Probably. Maybe. You got Amazon Prime?
Yes, I do.
It's probably on there.
Okay.
Amazon Prime is great, though, by the way.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like they're finally building up the library, too, to actually have some stuff you want to watch.
Oh, my God. With these streaming services, it's like you'll get lucky if you actually go in there and see something you really want to see. As far as movies, like I just looked through Netflix yesterday. I seen Semi-Pro with what's his name?
Oh, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I watched that, but I couldn't find anything. It's like every month I go in there and maybe they'll have 2 movies I want to see.
And then, yeah, that's a bad thing, too. A lot of them now have their exclusives. You got to, like, have this one to watch that one and all that. Like,
I've had all of them at one point. I had to get rid of it, though. Hulu, I've had all of that shit. Disney Plus.
Hulu got really good, though.
Did it?
Yeah, it got really good.
It's better for shows. Movies, they don't really have much, but they have a bunch of shows.
They got more movies now.
Yeah?
A lot more, yeah. And I got the Hulu with the live TV and the HBO add-on, so yeah, it's really diverse
I
now.
was watching Boondocks on there. They had like the whole thing of Dragon Ball GT, which I'd never seen. I watched it on there.
I couldn't commit to Dragon Ball.
Never?
I tried to. I tried.
Dragon Ball, none? You don't
No,
like
no. I really tried because maybe since you're an expert, I caught the bad version, the one that was on years ago on Channel 11. They only played like one season of it. I forget which version it was. It might have been, but I don't know. It was like the censored.
What's it years ago?
Oh, maybe over 10, something like that.
Oh, you might be talking about the newest one, Dragon Ball Super.
Maybe it was when they used to have Saturday morning cartoons and all that.
I think you're talking about Dragon Ball Z because there was a point that Dragon Ball Z was on there. Was on Channel 11.
It was censored. I know that much because I watched back a little bit of what I watched already there, and then there was stuff I didn't see at all.
Yeah. The American version is trash.
Yeah, but it was like I watched the half season they played. It was like 4 episodes of Goku building up the Spirit Bomb, and I couldn't get past it. It was like, what the fuck's gonna happen now?
He was fighting Frieza. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like the first. That's Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, so there you go. But it was like 4 episodes to build up the spirit bomb, and he never dropped it, or like I forget what happened.
Anime, they're good with that marketing promo. Like they know how to keep somebody's attention. Like they'll have you sitting there for a month straight watching people build up for a fight, and there's really a lot of people that really watch it. Like they're good at that shit.
But then now too, I think there's a lot of that going on with anime, right? Like too many animes now, or
I don't get into too many anime. There's definitely way too many. Yo, my friend tried to put me onto an anime the other day about firefighters. Like they were literally fighting, they were literally fighting fire, but they were firefighters. I was like, this is stupid as fuck. Like they were fighting them, but they were firefighters. Like it was ridiculous.
they were fighting the fires, or
Yes, and they were actual firefighters, and they were really fighting the fires. That's a funny ass concept, but I'm like, I'm not watching this shit.
I can never get into it just because they always had like the darker side of it with like the porn and all that stuff, or like
Anime? Oh, you
too
never,
out there with
you
that.
never got into anime?
I tried. I think the most was like maybe Pokemon, if that counts.
I love Pokemon.
How far did you get with Pokemon?
I'm kind of an expert up to like the newest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know much because it got stupid. They have a Pokemon that's a pair of keys. Like literally, there's a Pokemon that's keys on a keychain. There's literally a Pokemon that's a ice cream cone. Like it's just ridiculous. And then guess what his evolved form is? The ice cream cone.
Sunday?
It's a double cone. Like it's just ridiculous. I love Pokemon though. One of my favorite like cartoons ever. I love Pokemon.
I think they just dropped something on Netflix, right? Like a new Pokemon movie that's exclusive to it.
Yeah.
I think Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution it's called. It might just be the one from 2000 just like redone.
Oh yeah, I think I know you're talking about. It's like 3D. It's like three-dimensional or something.
It's on my queue, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But that looks cool. Pokemon, I just remember fighting over the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I still got. I got a couple in my house. I'm a collector of a lot of different things: comic books, Pokemon cards, sports cards. I collect a lot of stuff. One of my passions. Got to make a song about collecting stuff.
But then you got to be specific, though.
Yeah, definitely.
If you could do one about Pokemon cards, that'd be cool. No, I think they done Pokemon, though, because they got those diehard nerds that do anything for it.
Yeah, that's true.
You might have to do the cards.
Has it been from like a perspective of like some New York grimy type music?
Well, no, that's missing.
That would be crazy.
Okay. True, yeah. Because a lot of the nerds do generic stuff, too. They don't really...
They rapping like Eminem.
Exactly.
Like that shit just gets tiring, man. Hearing the same, no racist shit, but it's like every white rapper that comes out is just raps fast. I don't know.
That's just saving grace, because what they really have to rap about.
Damn.
My dad took away my trust fund.
Damn. Well, word. It's like every white rapper that's not like Lil Pump or one of these guys. That's all they do is just rap really fast. Like that shit is not impressive if you're not saying anything.
Yeah. Or what was his name? Tom Hanks' son.
Oh my god.
But do you remember him from back when though? When he tried to rap?
Nah, but I remember him trying to rap. I don't remember no songs or anything like that.
I mean, he was rapping. He was trying to be Eminem as possible with like, I'll stab you through your peephole with a ski pole. I mean, kind of bars. So
shit.
It's like your dad made like the Philadelphia Story, whatever that movie was called.
Like, man, okay, your dad's like the most money-grossing actor of all time. Like, I don't want to hear anything you had to say.
And like America's male sweetheart. So
yeah.
What hardships do you have?
Literally none. Tom Hanks Jr., son? Damn.
Yeah.
When I just think of that name, like, I know he's rich as fuck. What the fuck is he rapping for?
He's well off. His kids are well off, too.
Oh, my God.
And there's, like, no bad publicity ever on Tom Hanks' part, at least. Just his dumbass kid if he wants to do something else.
I never heard anything bad about Tom Hanks.
No. It seems like a legit nice guy. I mean, I've always heard stuff about, like, people bumping him here in the city, and he's, like, actually nice. He'll stop to talk to you and stuff.
I seen Keanu Reeves on the train.
I see that a lot happening.
Yo, he's really rich too. Well, it's not like somebody's gonna grab him or something. Maybe like 20 years ago, but now it's like New York's a tourist city.
Yeah, a lot of random people popping up too in the city.
Yeah.
You have another track on the project itself. KnowitAll is, which is cool too. I liked it, but I like what stood out about that was that you made emphasis on. Someone said you sounded like Biggie, but how the fuck you could be Biggie because you're so skinny and everything too, which I didn't really get either because I didn't hear that. I don't know if you ever got this before, but I heard more of a Capadonna sound to you.
Yo, that's my nigga. Yo, that's crazy. That's not the first time I've heard that, but that's my nigga. But yeah, yo, I've had several people tell me I sound like Biggie, and I hate it because I know that the hate that's gonna bring people saying that you sound like Biggie. Like, what? You don't sound like Biggie. You could never be like Biggie. Like, I know, I already, no matter how good I was, like, people will always say that. Like, so I really don't want that stigma of sounding like Biggie. I don't think I sound like Biggie.
I don't think either.
But
No.
I've heard several people, like at least 10 people have told me that.
That's weird.
That's strange, right?
Because I definitely hear more Capadonna. That's the first thing I heard.
Capadonna, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a unique voice too. Because I know he's not an official member of Wu, but
he's not one of the 9.
no, he's like an honorary 9.
Damn.
I mean, even with ODB passing, rest in peace, of course. But you know, they just made him honorary. He's not official. Wow. He wasn't sworn in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he always stood out to me just because of the rasp and the uniqueness of the sound of the voice too.
Vocabulary was crazy.
He's underrated.
Very underrated.
But then I heard like either he was or maybe still is a cab driver out in Staten.
That'd be cool.
He's not performing.
Pick you up.
Just bar you to death if you don't tip him. Yeah, I definitely heard more of a Capadonna sound from you. But that's the fun part too, because I know that was a problem for, let's say, Action Bronson when they said he sounds so much or exactly like Ghostface.
But he really it sounds like he trying to sound like Ghostface, honestly.
But then if you listen to his stuff though, he's like talking about different stuff entirely.
Absolutely. Like I'm talking about the tone of his voice.
Yeah.
He's talking about food and all of that. I like it. Action Bronson's good. I like Action Bronson.
He is. But yeah, he does like, I guess phonetically, he literally sounds like Ghostface.
Which is really weird because like a fat white guy and a black guy, like it's just that's just weird.
And I mean, his whole story too is like so different from Ghostface, so there's no comparison at all.
I love Action Bronson. I love watching him on YouTube cook, and they always doing interesting stuff. He's a fun guy.
He's a unique character, definitely. Yeah. He's definitely one to watch. But the point of, I guess, the health scare, or what we spoke about in the beginning, was to bring it back now to what really kind of cemented the fact that your story is unique. So you had a health scare from early on, which is still going through right now. Yeah. But please feel free to share what I'm referring to, because that's your story to share.
Okay. Well, when I was 15, I was diagnosed with kidney disease, and from 15 to 16, the function of my kidneys went down dramatically very fast. My mom gave me a kidney around me being 17, man. She gave me a kidney. That one lasted for about 7 years. Now I'm about to try to get now I need to get a new one. And the fact that the one that my mom gave me didn't work, I blame myself. I blame myself for not taking care of it. And I just do that so I could be even more on top of it and even more on top of my health. I've learned so much about health and the human body, but we're dealing with these things, like so much that people my age like don't know and may never know. So I actually look at it as a health, like as a learning experience. And I wouldn't say grateful, but I'm kind of grateful to have this information that I have, and to be able to help all my loved ones and family around me with this information that they would have never had if not for me. So I take it as a positive. Well, some parts of it are negative, obviously.
So how'd you even get diagnosed to begin with the kidney issue?
One day I was in my house and like my ankle swelled up or something. Yeah, like my ankle swelled up, and me and my mom were trying to figure out why. We couldn't figure out why. So I went to the doctor and I peed, and they said it was foamy. They said it means it has protein in it. There's something wrong with your kidneys. So they sent us to like a kidney specialist, and they did a biopsy, which is where they take a little bit of the tissue from your kidney, and they looked at it and everything, and they seen I had kidney disease. Some kidney disease that has a really long name that I don't remember. Mm-hmm. And from the time that they diagnosed me, in about a year, my kidneys completely failed, and I needed my mom's, which is really fast. Like that's a long time. And for me to be so young, like it's still like a mystery as to why I really got sick. And I've been trying to figure that out ever since. Like, what's really the reason?
So it was just more of what seemed to be one issue led to a whole nother thing, like just unraveled.
Kidney disease led to kidney failure. Mm-hmm. When I was like 15, I really thought I was going to die. Like, if I look back at my 15-year-old self, I would not think I'd be 27 and alive, honestly.
Would it give you like a lot of potential problems you might have in the future, or any kind of glimpse of hope?
Glimpse of hope, yeah, because once I get this kidney, well, I watch it like a lot of stuff and stuff. Like, there's people that are healing themselves of this with like dieting and stuff. Like, I just learned a lot about like dieting and veganism and stuff. Like, my girls are vegan. Shout out to Kayla. But yeah, definitely got hope for the future, and definitely gonna take care of myself, and definitely plan to live to be 100, man. definitely all of the positive I take from this is everything that I learned from this. It's humbled me. It gave me a lot of character. I learned a lot of things from it. If I had to do life over, the only thing I would change is, as a child, just drink more water. Everybody that's listening to this, drink a gallon of water a day. Take it as advice from me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about in regards to hydrating and not hydrating your body. Drink a gallon of water a day for the rest of your life, please.
So is that something you have to absolutely do now, like the gallon of water a day?
Well, at this moment in my life, I'm a dialysis patient, and what dialysis does is it replaces the function of your kidneys. 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 4 hours. I sit in the chair for 4 hours. That shit is fucking unbearable. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just sitting there. And, well, as of right now, I can't drink a gallon of water every day because my kidneys don't function like the average person to, so the fluid doesn't come out as fast as it would yours. So I gotta watch my fluid intake. But when I get this kidney, gallon of water every day. I'm gonna less meat in your diet, more fruits and vegetables. Less meat in your diet, more fruits, vegetables, and water. That's advice to everybody. That's just life advice. Less meat in your diet, more fruits, vegetable, and water. That's my goal. Working out every day, just being on top of my health, positive vibes. That's just what it's all about, son.
Wow, goddamn. But the interesting part is that you had not one, but you're scheduled for your second transplant.
Yeah, man. I had my first one when I was 17. My mom gave me that one. That one worked for 6 years. Now I'm about to get two. Most people that know me don't even know that I'm about to, I don't tell everybody this.
Of course.
A lot of other people, if they were rappers, they would say it after every line just to get themselves a buzz. I just don't do it. I just don't feel right doing it. Just talking about it all the time. But yeah, what was your question again? I keep
No, it's fine. No, because that was actually the part that caught me and made me like, oh shit, I gotta try to get him in here, try to have him talk about that because, like you said, you didn't try to play that out as a ploy or try to hook, line, sinker. It was just it happened to be there. You mentioned it, but that's deep enough because that reminded me a lot of Ghostface. I think he didn't reveal he was diabetic until a cameo on a Prodigy track or something like that too. Who would have ever known about that otherwise?
Crazy thing you say about him being diabetic is diabetes is one of the leading causes of kidney disease and kidney failure. So you got to really be on top of that.
That would help you. I mean, but then diabetes too is so bad now where kids are born with it. So
damn, yeah.
That is the sad part. So when you got the transplant the first time around, that's from your mom. God bless, she was able to help you with that.
Right.
What led to, or how did that lead into you eventually in the second one?
All right, I got it at 17. Let's say prior to me getting that transplant, I was fat, right? Just listen. I went to sleep for the transplant fat. I woke up from the transplant skinny. Literally. I woke up from the transplant, I have stretch marks all over. And from 17, I got out of the hospital. I got healthy again. I already graduated high school. I was going into college. I'm skinny now. This is my first time in my life ever getting attention from girls. I was a fat kid, square kid, gamer, sick in high school and shit, virgin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And 17, I started getting attention from girls, this, that. And I started smoking. I started drinking alcohol. I just wasn't on top of my, that wasn't my concern. Was my main concern wasn't my health. It was my social life. That's really what I blame. Just not being on top of things that I should have been on top of things. I was worried about things that I don't even care about much now. And looking back on my early 20s, I wasted all my fucking time. That's why I work so hard with this music. If you're under 25 and you're listening to this video, even if you're 25, don't waste your fucking 20s just getting high and trying to fuck a million girls. Do something with your time that's going to benefit you by the time you're 30. Don't waste your fucking time. Because when you're my age, when you're 27, you're going to look back damn. Don't waste time, man. It's very important. Can't get it back. Yeah,
it's essential in everything you do. But then, do you still smoke at all now or no?
As of right now, nah, because I'm going through this whole process with the hospital and stuff, and they said that they don't want me to smoke before the surgery and shit. So nah, I'm not doing it right now, but I do want to. But I'm stronger than that as of right now. I'm not doing it.
And that's key to hear. You're stronger than that to have to give in to that as much as you want to, I guess, because it's vital now to get serious about this time around, right?
Definitely. I'm this kidney. I'm I'm gonna take this one to year 100 with me, man. I'm gonna do this one right for real.
So then, what was the sign that led you to going back to having to hear that you need another kidney now?
Yo, it was just a chance. I just happened to go to the hospital or something. I don't remember what for. And they told me like, the disease that you had before came back. Like it was just random out of nowhere. I didn't even know I was sick. Yo, it comes from. Matter of fact, no, that's not true. I got a call from my doctor, and he was like, "Yo, you're dehydrated. You're too dehydrated."
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I think I lost the first one. I wasn't drinking enough water. Like he told me like, "Yo, you're dangerously dehydrated. You need to check into an ER right now." Boom. That was the first scare, and then I didn't lose the kidney at that exact moment. Like 3 months later, I had a fucking voicemail from like a week ago. The doctor's like, "Oh, you need to go to emergency," like another one. And like I was just not on top of it. I blame myself. It's my fault.
So was that primarily because you were so dehydrated, or
Dehydrated, not eating the right things, just not on top of my health. I needed that because somewhere down the line I could have been doing the same thing, but now I'm very health conscious, very aware. So I'm glad to be going into this next kidney transplant with this information I have. Very grateful for that.
is your mother still with us?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's in great health.
Okay, good. Question then, since she was the one to give it up the first time. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. That's inappropriate. I mean, she was the one to give you the first kidney the time around.
Yeah.
When you heard, and I guess had to break the news to her, you need a second one now. How did she take that?
She was very hurt. She was very hurt by that, and it took me a while to tell her. Like she was really hurt. Like I was hurt by how hurt she was. She was very hurt by that, as she should, because you don't want like you give your son life, then you give him life again, then you find out that it's not enough. Of course, that's gonna hurt you.
So she might have taken it initially as it wasn't good enough.
Basically, but I like me, I've done dialysis before, so it wasn't really the end of the world to me. I was more worried about how my mom felt that she gave me a kidney. Like when it happened, I was more worried about how my mom felt than me. Like I did this before, so it wasn't that bad for me. I was more worried about she went through all of this only for it to fail.
What's that process like though? For her, how does she have to get prepped to donate the kidney?
Well, we just had a couple of doctor visits back and forth. They checked all her other organs, made sure her body was ready, was able to go through serious surgery. And the process of her surgery was really easy. Like it was like a 2-hour process. They do a little tiny incision like around your belly button, and they get it out. Yeah, really easily.
Oh, I would think
me or her don't even have a scar from the surgery. I had no scar, neither did she.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I would have thought it would have been the from the backside because that's
they do it from the front, both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and I guess the healing process for her was okay too, or
after 7 days she was fine. Like these doctors are really good nowadays, and when I first had a kidney transplant, it was like a 10-hour surgery. I spoke to, they said it's only like 4 hours now. Like they're getting better at it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But the only lengthy part is the wait.
There are so many people, especially in this part of the country, that are on the list to have kidney transplants, especially in that hospital, New York Presbyterian on East 70th Street. Shout out to them, great people. But yeah, there's so many people on that list, so many.
That leads a lot of questions too. I mean, as far as the list being long, that's, painfully true. Mm-hmm. But when you have a candidate like you did the first time, your mom, does that shorten the wait?
I have another donor. I left that out. My friend Sam, who's already a match, we already know he's a match. He's giving me the kidney. That's who's giving me the kidney. My friend Sam. Shout out to him.
Definitely shout out to Sam.
Yeah. The waiting process is more of there are other people scheduled to have kidney transplants before me. Like there are a lot of people that's going to have them before me. So yeah, I'm not really waiting. I'm not waiting for a donor. I'm waiting for them to be done testing and actually schedule us. So
yeah, that was what my mix-up was, because it would make sense if let's say you're a random somebody who has no one that has one, then your wait's like who knows how long. But you have the donor, so now it's just a matter of waiting when they can actually do it for you.
Now I'm just on the hospital's time.
Okay.
But the first time when my mom gave me, I was only on I was only on dialysis for 6 months. Like that's not a long time. This time around, I've been on it for like 4 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So dialysis is the lead into the eventual transplant, or
no? It replaces the function of your kidneys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically keeping me alive. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 hours a day.
So you can't miss a session.
You can, but I when I was younger, like when I first started, like when I was like 25, like when I first started, I used to miss them, but it's really not a good idea to miss them.
Wow. And then, well, how did your mom? Like, I know that's reasonable, the fear you had of how she would take it, as far as her maybe thinking, oh, my kidney wasn't good enough to keep you alive. So then, but your fear was having to tell her why it led to that, if anything, your poor choice of lifestyle.
Yeah, and just how she like I was more, well, you know, I'm her son, so I was just more worried about how she would be hurt that I had to go through this again. That was my whole thing. I didn't really care about myself. I was, as long as she was okay, like she wasn't losing her mind about it, I can deal with it. You feel me?
Well, you were lucky enough, thank God, that you had your friend Sam, like you mentioned. He's willing to give you his kidney. There was no issue there. How soon did he find out that you needed a kidney, or how did that even come up that he was the donor?
You know, because I don't tell everybody. So one day he probably just had a conversation, and he ended up saying like, "Yo, I'll give you one of mine." And I was like, "Really? All right." So we're gonna go up to the hospital, and some reason I knew he was gonna be a match. Like I knew our blood type was gonna be the same, and I happen to have a really rare blood type, which is O negative, which also means I'm a universal donor. O negatives, I can give organ or blood to anybody, but I can only receive from other O negatives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom happened to be O negative, and Sam happens to be O negative. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Sam someone you've known for a while, I think you mentioned?
Childhood friends.
Okay. So he was just immediately like, I'm absolutely down. I'll definitely help you with that.
Great guy, yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Where, because that's a hard decision to make. Like,
yeah, I mean... But then I'm sure he was informed that, well, you know, you can tell me too, of course, in detail, but so that means there's no direct effects to his health, no compromise at all for doing so?
My mom is perfectly fine. Like, she just has one kidney with it. She goes to the bathroom like a lot sometimes, but she's perfectly fine. She's perfectly normal. You wouldn't know she gave me a kidney unless you asked her. Yeah.
Wow. So then now we're just waiting on... I think you said summer, right? This year?
Scheduling, yep. I believe it'll be before summer. And KnowitAll will be working 20 times harder. Y'all definitely hear this name before the year's up.
So where you stand now with the kidney situation? Do you ever get, like, tired, or do you get, like...
To be honest with you, it's a depressing thing to deal with. Like, sometimes I just wake up, like, why me? Like, I'm not a bad guy. It's a why me type of feeling sometimes. Like, and having to wake up and go to dialysis... It's like sometimes it's like being in a jail because I'm not able to travel how I want to because I got to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 4 hours. Like, it's giving me a lot of discipline. And when I do get this kidney, like, it's going to make me so much better. Like, so I'm honestly just grateful to have all the information, to have the learning experience. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I stop. That's what keeps me going, is to look at it like a learning experience instead of just being depressed about it. You feel me?
So then at the time, when Sam agreed to give you his kidney, one of his, I mean, is that when you started taking rap more seriously, or when did that?
Matter of fact, that's a good question, because I started really taking it serious when I got sick, like the second time. I'm 27. I got sick like going on 25. Yeah, that's like when I started taking it serious. When I had more time in the house, and I would just like have more time to myself. I started thinking about what I really wanted out of life. And when I got 25, I started reflecting on what did I accomplish? And I felt like I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to. And that just gave me more of a drive.
Did you ever feel like the second time around, like besides maybe feeling like failure or anything of that sort, did you ever feel like maybe you would die or any risk of it at all?
I mean, going through serious health issues, you always contemplate death. But I don't think I'm going to die. You don't die unless you want to die. My spirit is strong. I want to be here for a long time. I want to live to be 100 and be healthy at 100, and I'm going to do it.
So then, as far as taking it seriously again with the music, would part of it then be fear of failing? If I don't do it now, you know, I might not get the kidney, God forbid, or...
What do you mean?
Like, as far as, like, getting serious about the music. I know you said it was, like, at 25. It was roughly around when you got diagnosed again, needing a second kidney. Is that in any part playing into, you know, if I fuck around still, you know, I might as well do the music now because who knows what might happen afterwards, how long a wait, if I get another kidney, whatever.
I just had the time to do it. And I just loved it. And then I had this girl that I used to mess with. All of this happened at the same time. This girl I used to mess with just told me, like, yo, it's not gonna, like, you're not gonna make it. Like, yo, just stop rapping. Like, yo, just get a real job. Just do this. And that shit motivated me a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I got past that and shit, and I found other things to be motivated by, but that was like the spark initially. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've
So
gotten way past that, but
did she know about your situation with the kidney? Or
absolutely.
Okay. And she still said all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Women
wow.
are fucking brutal, man. What?
Did she ever, I mean, in the realm of humor, did she ever, like, poke fun at that? Like, that's why you got one kidney or something like that?
Yo, I play, like, I'm very jokey. Like, that's how I always stay, like, in such a good spirit. I'm very jokey. So if you're funny, like, no, I don't care what you say. If I'm going to laugh at it. So I don't even mind that. Like, so that wouldn't even bother me. Like, stuff like that doesn't bother me. Like, I'm very jokey anyway.
So you'll actually, like, make fun of it yourself with
Definitely,
people close enough to you, I guess.
Definitely. Like, to the point my girl's like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Like, why? It's funny. I'm fine. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm still that philosophy. Is like I said earlier, if it's funny,
comedians,
give it.
The best fucking comedians talk about the most fucked up shit in LA.
Yeah, and they make like all these careers out of it too, off of their pain. Why not?
Man. You can't be sad about everything, man. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh it off.
Yeah, exactly. That helped. So how about now? How's your mom feel about the second time around? She's okay with it. She's like fine. Is she worried at all? Better yet said.
It's a major surgery, so I'm sure she's worried. But I mean, I give her the vibe like everything's okay. You feel me? So, well, you never know how much. You know, moms worry, so I'm sure she worries.
Yeah.
But she don't give me the vibe like she's that worried. But I know that she's worried about it. Of course, it's a major surgery.
Probably being strong for you too to help out, if anything, moral support. So at this point now, with the second kidney upcoming, TBD summer 2020 or sooner, hopefully, to be done, there seems to not be the fear of failure as opposed to the project you dropped. So, if anything, you're living by the credo of don't fail because you might as well try everything leading up to it. Because then otherwise that's how you really fail, by not doing anything about it or not addressing it and not just like doing what you want or your whole purpose.
Exactly.
Like you said, your whole purpose you feel is to be able to rap.
Right.
Or be able to put your art out there, express it how you may.
I want to do a bunch of other things besides rap.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like rap was the most immediate one, like the one I was most familiar with, and the one I could just start doing right away.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bunch of things that I want to do. I want to try stand-up comedy.
I was getting those vibes from you,
Really?
so I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
I want to write like movies and stuff. Like I just want to get into all realms of entertainment, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to be like J-Lo too? You're a dancer, you're a singer,
Yeah.
all hands in all kinds of pots.
Definitely. Know from the block. Know it all from the block. Definitely.
So in this case, we have to give you backup, and we'll close out with that last track. Well, the last one we'll play today, at least this episode. We'll come back with more, of course, with KnowitAll. This is Don't Fail, funny enough, and appropriately enough. So we'll be right back with more Something Spectacular, Who This.
Yeah. Go and get it before it's too late. Failure painful like a toothache. I spit a rhyme for truth's sake. Straight from Mother Earth, the drugs that we do take. Who fake could never be my MO. I'm steady fighting failure. Remember where I was at when Tower 7 fell. I know niggas that was a danger to mankind, and now they face a hell in the cell. Going to see the Undertaker if it's a chance that he tell. Told my niggas if I fail, give me 7 shells. Right to the face, I'm staring to the sky, how for eighth. I wonder when I got faith, but I might sell base. Legal money is evasive, and all my niggas got cases. And the rest of you niggas is haters. Me and my goons on the same page, like homeostasis. We tryna win, tryna end cycles of poverty. That broke shit bothers me. The system created a monster like Bobbity. Same niggas on IG follow you. Be in your bushes laid, waiting, tryna hollow you. Everything you plan on, follow through. No second chances, that failure is cancer. These bitches don't care if you handsome. They tryna see which wish you could grant them. Every day I'm writing anthems. Life crazy. Sam giving me an organ. Seen a nigga I knew from childhood die last August. God bless. Blind tunnel to progress. Smoke a blunt before I get dressed. Niggas risking their life just to get fresh. Yeah. My passion pure like breast milk. On the block like Wilt with the numbers. I was broke mad summers, excuse me for my hunger. I'm from out the bottom. I want the cheese and the bread, cowabunga. I'm Ronic, I'm an artist, ironically I'm starving. I couldn't afford a haircut, I ain't wanna look like James Harden. Yeah. Steady running from losing. Life filled with confusion. Whatever you do, don't fail. Steady running from losing. Life filled with confusion. Whatever you do, don't fail. Whatever you do, don't fail. Yo, whatever you do, don't fail.
Don't fail.
Yo, whatever you do, don't fail.
Stop playing with me, my nigga. I'm dead ass. Don't fail.
Whatever you do, don't fail.
Violence, son. Don't fail.
That was again Fear of Failure from the project title as well, Fear of Failure, 2019 release from KnowitAll, who we have in studio with us. We're going to be wrapping things up, there's still some stuff to talk about, of course. But, there's so much more. I definitely feel like there's still more you need to come back and discuss.
No problem.
We're
man.
both into conspiracy theories. We got to dissect your bars because you got a lot of hidden double entendres, hidden references that you got to listen back to a lot. Like I said earlier with It's Not a Game, the Xbox really caught my attention. That was beyond clever, honestly.
Thank you.
And I know that takes time to craft perfectly, put together so it makes sense, unlike Eminem, which I had another problem with because, shout out to 50 Cent. I don't know if you've heard of or watched that show on ABC now, For Life.
Right. I haven't watched, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's really good. It's 3 episodes in right now, and it's my only fear of that failing is, funny enough, is that the story's great, but I don't know how long they could drag it out for. As far as the guy in jail, self-taught with the law,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't want to see it go 5-6 seasons, and it's
still
boring.
didn't get out.
Right, because we know the story might have been as long as it might have been, but then at some point it gets boring, dragged out,
It's like you can't go as far as you could with Power. They can't take it to as many places.
Power branches out. It's got characters, their stories, and all that. I never watched Power, but
Me neither, actually.
Yeah, and I didn't hear good things about the last season, so people were pissed off with it legitimately. So there's that to take in mind. But it's just a matter of fear of failing. What was I saying? Goddamn. I forgot. I'm freezing cold in here because my
I'm cold
stupid.
too, but I'm used to this. I like it.
No, just because my bum ass superintendent. I'm gonna snitch, but he's got a full-time job outside of being a superintendent. So I don't know why this boiler of all days had to fail today when I got people coming through. So, and you saw the handwritten notice outside. Monday will be fixed. But 2 whole days of that. But, we were briefly talking about the dialysis center. You wanted to shoot a video. Well, you did shoot a video for...
Don't Fail, yeah.
Don't Fail. And you wanted to shoot the inside of the dialysis center, which, of course, made sense. As you said, due to HIPAA, they wouldn't let you do it.
I wanted to get myself while I was on the machine and just rap while I was sitting there on the machine.
That would have been crazy to do.
I know.
But is it nothing similar, like props you could do that with again someplace else?
Yeah, if I would be creative, I could recreate something like that, definitely.
Well, hopefully on a bigger budget soon enough. Yeah, we could definitely make that happen.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Definitely.
But you also said you happen to just walk to the center yourself instead of riding the transportation set up by health insurance too.
Right.
Which is the ride on the way there is depressing. The place itself is depressing looking enough because you happen to be one of the younger ones or the youngest one to go there specifically, right?
Yeah, I am. I think I am the youngest person there. Now,
So
there are people around my age, and when I see them, I just shake my head like, "How did we end up here?"
do you ever talk to any of them? Have you made friends at all or acquaintance?
I've made friends, but with an old lady named Miss McCarthy. Shout out Miss McCarthy. She's 80. She's mad cool. She's my she sits next to me. That's the only person I really made friends with.
in those kind of places, do you have like I don't know, seating arrangements or?
Yeah, basically. Like I come in, I'm in the first chair.
Okay, so you're first up, if anything.
I guess. Yeah.
The whole project in itself, Fear of Failure, is like a really great thing to listen to. The only thing I fear might fail is, besides, you're a former wrestling fan, not currently of the product now, which makes sense. It's not for everybody, like you said earlier. But my fear of failure is Vince McMahon with the XFL now, the second time around, which I tried to watch it the first time around. I'm not sports savvy like that, so I kind of fell off after the second game, I think.
You can't just, like, NFL football is just so, like, put into American culture. You can't just create a league on the whim. Like, it's not going to work. I don't care how good it is. If it's not NFL or college football, it's not going to work. It's just not.
Is there any way possible, any case scenario you think he might be able to do something?
It has to be, like, really different. It has to, like, be, I don't know. I just don't see it working, honestly.
Because I remember the first time around, I think he was just trying to do, like, locker room drama, like the head cheerleader from this team was sleeping with the guy from that team. They're on different coasts. How does it work? Kind of thing.
I don't remember that, but that's funny.
But yeah, it failed obviously the first time around.
It's a new era, so let's see, man. I wish it well.
There was a thing, I think they wanted to sign Kaepernick, but he wanted too much allegedly for them.
Oh, that guy, man. I have my grievances with that guy. Kaepernick, man. Because he tried to make it like it was about the issue, because it was originally about the issue, police brutality, this, that. Like, now it's like he only cares if he gets a job or not. Like, you got like a whole $20 million from Nike and all of this. Like, are you an activist or are you trying to get paid? Like, he's like playing both sides. I just don't like it.
Yeah, and I was there too. I mean, I remember catching him briefly before the whole thing happened and he stopped playing. Like, he was overrated a lot. Apparently.
Yeah, he's not even that good.
He had that one really good season, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, kind of like couldn't repeat it again, kind of thing.
He wasn't that good to begin with. Second of all, like he's like trying to use this Black Power thing to make himself more important. Like, he tries to use this whole kneeling thing for him. Like, it started about the police brutality. Then it just became about him not having a job. Like, we don't care if you have a job. We want police brutality to stop. That's what the issue is. It's not about you having a job or not. You're rich. You're going to be fine. We want police brutality to stop. I don't care if you don't ever start in the NFL again, honestly.
Yeah, and another takeaway from the XFL that surprised me was, in comparison to the NFL, was I think the most you make if you're not like a star in the XFL is like $55,000 a year.
It's not worth that. Football's really dangerous.
Yeah.
And compared to the other sports, baseball and football's already the lowest paid one. And they take the most risks. Like, the average football career is only 3 years.
And I think they play the shortest amount of games anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they don't get paid compared to, like, MLB. They're getting like $500 million contracts, guaranteed money. NFL, if you hurt your knee, you're done. That's it. You're not getting any of that money.
Did you ever get in any sports growing up at all?
Yeah,
or?
I was a heavy baseball player. I was really good at baseball. I was really good at football. Basketball, I wasn't that good at, even though I'm tall and all that. But I wasn't. I love basketball. I'm like a basketball historian, son.
Okay.
I'm not that good though.
Shit, I wish I knew my basketball like that, but I'd quiz you something like that. But do you have a favorite of all time? Is LeBron up there at all? Like,
Definitely.
popular question.
LeBron is the GOAT, son.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. I believe that, honestly, the best all-around player ever. Rest in peace to Kobe, who's like my favorite player of all time. I've never had a celebrity death that I actually like really cared about. Like, Kobe hit me really hard. I did not expect it, because it's like people like that, like athletes, like it's like they can't die, especially if they're that young. Like, nobody's expecting Kobe to fucking die. That was insane.
Yeah, no, it just seemed out of nowhere too, and surprisingly, it was young.
In our lifetime, we've never seen like an athlete of that importance die. Like in his young age, like it was new. It was a shocker thing. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, and the bigger point was an athlete of all people
and
too.
His daughter, man. Like,
and a daughter, right? The one I was gonna directly take up under his mantle.
So sad.
Yeah. Also, I mean, touching back on Vince, he's bound to fail with, or he has already failed with, besides the XFL, Black History Month, which is shined on awkwardly in the WWE, as has it been for like the last 10 years or so. I think they just started doing that randomly. Last year or the year before, I think, Vince randomly tweeted on MLK Jr.'s birthday, like, "This is my hero, the icon, MLK Jr."
Damn, you sound like him. But yeah.
But he got some flack for that, of course.
Why?
Makes sense. It was random. It was the day of. I think he had the day off because the post office was closed. He couldn't mail a check or something, and then just put that tweet out there. Like, God damn, it's MLK Jr. Day, my hero.
Did you ever see that clip where he says the N word? He's like, "Yo, what's up, nigga?" You seen that before?
To John Cena, of all people, of course. So
that shit is funny as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie.
But there was it might have been 2 or 3 years ago, he had this, not him, of course, but the company, like, would put out these segments weekly on Raw for Black History Month, February, of course. Like, they would shine the spotlight on not even black wrestlers, just black random icons in black history.
That's strange.
And, of course, the first one up was, guess who? Everyone's favorite, the Peanut Guy, George Washington Carver.
Wow.
And it would be the lead-in. I think randomly they would have, like, the black wrestlers, the few of them, just, like, say, "Hey, he meant a lot to me. We got peanut butter because of him," something like that.
That is strange as fuck.
Yeah, and then now they're doing it a little better because they started focusing on actual black wrestlers, but it's been like, it's been awkward at best. I forget why years ago it just bothered me so much because one of them was like really pathetic, or they just went with the basics, like, of course, MLK, Malcolm, I think they did once.
Just like how school does. Like, school would give you the fucking five black history people to talk about, and that's it.
Exactly. And then, it's just so random. I don't know if you caught last year at all, Kofi Mania with Kofi Kingston.
I know him.
Did you follow that
I
at
have no
all?
idea. The New Day?
The skinny one with the braids.
I know who he is, but I don't know.
Did
Kofi
you
Mania?
catch that at all last year when he won the belt and everything?
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, like he's the first legit, like, black champion of the company and everything, too.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Which is cool because, it sounds awkward coming from me because I'm not black, so why would it even matter to me? But it's still, like, the point of, it's still history within the sport, quote-unquote, itself. I mean, I was there for the WrestleMania when it happened last
you
year.
went?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was cool because my friend and me from work went, and we bought tickets the day of, just hoping to see if we get anything. We did. We waited 5 hours online to get the tickets, but we got to witness it live from the nosebleeds. It's okay. I was so excited I jumped up in my chair, which wasn't smart so high up because I did almost stumble from the plexiglass. But it was still a moment in time to capture, but then it got cut short like 6 months later when they put him up against Brock Lesnar, and he squashed him in, like, I think less than a minute.
Wow.
And this was the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox, of all things. So that's the first image you get of who was your first black champion.
Wow.
Well, this is where it ends right here.
On Fox, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know what? It's been a really good episode today with KnowitAll, of course, from LIC. So, Queens born, Queens bred. I can relate. Thank God, finally somebody proud to be from Queens. It's all fun. It's all love. We wish you, me, of course, meaning, I wish you the best of luck with getting the transplant soon, hopefully before the summer, and that you remain in good health afterwards, too, because if you go for the three-peat, that'd be really bad on your part.
You're a funny guy, but yo, thank you. I appreciate that. And no, we're not having no three-peat no time soon.
No, you're good now. But, yeah, please just let us know now, open platform, of course, where they can follow you on social media, what you got coming up project-wise, anything else you got in mind you want to get out there, too.
KnowitAll, man. You can find me on any platform, KnowitAll NYC, or find me on all social media platforms at KnowitAll NYC. Find me on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Music at KnowitAll, all one word, KnowitAll. Get in tune with KnowitAll NYC.
Definitely. And again, don't forget, please, he's also got 2 tracks on Spotify and on Apple Music, which is Devil in the Streets of Queens and Ignorance Part 2, which, of course, why not? And to close things off properly for this episode of Something Spectacular with Who This, of course, again, me on IG, Twitter, all that stuff. Well, IG, I was lucky enough to get Who This Is. On Twitter, I was even luckier. I got Who This, which is my actual name I try to go by in the air. But then, YouTube, Who This Is 1. I got some stuff going on there. Again, thank you to KnowitAll. So, in that case, let's close it off with something, again, on Spotify, on Apple Music, Ignorance Part 2, as we send off properly into the sunset, into what he makes of his life, KnowitAll, thank you again. Definitely going to have you back soon when you got more stuff coming out.
Definitely.
I hope you're going to live out that concept track you said of wrestling.
Oh, for sure. That's happening. That's going to happen.
Please make that happen. And also the video you discussed potentially for It's Not a Game. That'll be fun to be a part of, too.
All of this is going to happen.
Definitely, man. Thank you again for coming through. And again, this is KnowitAll Ignorance Part 2.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man, for coming through.
Told y'all we born to be put in jail. Nipsey showed you being righteous could get you killed. Most rappers trying to get a deal. I'm trying to get away from failure. Once you seeing dollars, niggas swear you look familiar. Niggas in your class pictures coming to kill ya. The hood is wild like Brazil is, but I'm resilient, brilliant, I got a vision. Stay away from ignorance. Money what I need like how a granny need insulin. Trying to reach another level. Ignorance, just a side effect of the ghetto. No niggas that'll jump in your windshield for a settlement. In the hood we use junk food for nourishment. That's why we sick. No niggas moms addicted. No niggas and they moms being evicted. In the hood, if you don't grind, all you'll ever be is a victim. Niggas ain't playing dumb. Niggas be really stupid. These big homies is losers. Drug users. The streets is ludicrous. Niggas dying over crippin' and blood, and we all sisters and cousins. Played a dozen, smoke a dozen blunts. Won't shoot a cop, but shoot any nigga that front. Pure ignorance sometimes make me not give a shit. Vivid pictures of the struggle through my penmanship. I'm ignorant, I never learned to write a script. Too busy trying not to be a victim. We ignorant to how the system work. Laughing at a dope fiend while you on your way to get them perks. Laughing at a nigga with a job, you fucking up your work. Bitches on social media showing their daughter twerk. Deadbeat fathers who we ought to murk. Nigga can't even read. Nigga can't even spell autumn. Talking about how he need an Audemars. We was broke to have $1 in the dream. We need a quarter more. Ignorant, a staple in the hood like a corner store. A good dime make me think of the good times. We was drinking quarter waters. Attention deficit disorder. Shit sounds sorta fake. Who I'm kidding? I was bad as shit. Ignorance is bliss. Bliss is this bag of piff.